Okay, today I wanted to do a tutorial video on the slide command in Wings3D. I had seen that there's another video out there that does show you a little bit about how to use it, but I wasn't able to exactly understand how all of the different parts of slide worked from that video, so I thought I would experiment and figure it out for myself a little bit and then make my own video, which will not only help me learn, but hopefully some other folks learn how to use it as well. So let's get started by let's bring a sphere into the scene, and we'll mouse over that and click the S key to subdivide that one layer, and we'll go into edge mode, and I'll select a short edge ring here, or edge loop, or partial edge loop I guess, and I'll use the paint select mode to do that. And you can see down in the left hand corner there on the ever important information line. Always look at the information line in Wings. It will be your best tutor and your best friend. It says the paint select is a double left click. So I will do 1, 2, and just hold the left mouse button down, and we'll select a few extra. And then I'll just single click these away, and I've got my little edge ring here, or partial edge loop. And okay, so now the next thing we want to do is invoke the slide command. So with that selected, we do our right mouse click to bring up our context menu and go to slide. Left click on that, and now by moving the mouse we are doing the slide. Now you'll look down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and you will see that there are 3 numbered options down there that we can toggle through. And the first one is number 1 key, which is absolute and relative, and the second one is freeze direction and thaw direction, and the third one is to stop at other edges and or continue past other edges. So we're going to figure out what all 3 of those things mean right now. So let's take a look at this here, and right now we're set for relative. And so what is the difference between relative and absolute? Well, if you look at the way things operate on the model itself, there's actually no apparent difference at all in how they operate. Whether it's set to relative or absolute, they all kind of do the same thing. The difference is up in the left-hand corner of your upper left-hand corner of your window, where the amount of displacement of the slide is going to change depending on which one you have selected. In this case, we have absolute selected. When you have the absolute selected, it is actually measuring in terms of Wings units of measurement, how far the slide is occurring, both in the positive and negative direction from 0. So from 0 it'll go up to positive 0.19 and down to negative 0.19. And so this allows you, through numerical entry, you can hit tab and actually enter the numbers directly on your keyboard, or you can use the distance constraints you have set in your preferences by holding shift or holding control or holding alt. You can then move based on the distances in your constraints. So I can't, let's see, by holding my control, I think I have my control set to 0.1 for distance constraints. So that's how I can do that there. I think my alt is at 0.01, yeah. So that is the absolute movement. Now if we toggle our 1 key, or hit our 1 key, and go to relative movement, you see the upper left hand corner changes to percentages. So now from 0 we can go from 0 to 100%, positive and negative in any direction, to do the slide. Again, the numerical entry, we can put in any percent number we want, 30%, 20%. I can hit tab and do a 30, and it'll go to a 30%. And so that is what that offers there, is relative and absolute just give you a different way of expressing the measurement of how far you are sliding when you do the sliding. Now, the next toggle is the number 2 key, which is the freeze direction and thaw direction. So what is that all about? Well, if we get in and look at a little closer here on the profile, it's kind of a subtle thing, but it's an important one. With the direction thawed, basically the vertical edges that this edge is sliding along are your angles of direction. This is the direction that it's sliding in. And with the thaw on, you'll notice that it slides smoothly from one to the other bordering edge loop very nicely and easily. If we, however, hit the 2 key and freeze it, what we see is that now it's actually frozen. It's frozen to the axis of those vertical edges, and so now it will only slide along that particular direction which has now been frozen. If we hit the 2 key again to release that, thaw that direction, it will now again flow evenly. So this is a really handy thing if you want to, say, create a ridge here. So for example, if I wanted to bring this down to the point where it would make some kind of ridge and would stick up like this, and that's, of course, I'm lousy drawing with a mouse, but if we wanted to do that, we wanted to make sure that the slide followed this exact angle all the way down, then this is what we would do. We would actually freeze the direction. So we'll undo that, redo our slide, and then we'll hit the number 2 key to freeze the direction, and that will allow us now to slide this down. Oops, I think I hit the wrong one. Did I hit the wrong one? No. There we go. Okay, somehow it got confused on that first time, but it allowed us to freeze the direction such that it comes all the way down there. So, if I cancel that, and I now just select this whole ring by holding down my L key, I can now slide this whole thing, freezing the direction so that it will create a lip or a ridge right over where I want to be. Right there. And again, that vertical edge is frozen. The direction of the slide is frozen. So that is the difference between frozen and thawed directions. That's the direction of your slide. So now the next thing is, what is the number 3? And this one's a pretty obvious one. I'm going to go back and select a few of these edges again, and hit my A key to center the view on it. So now if I go to slide, I think I selected an extra edge there, but it's not important. Basically, the number 3 will allow you to slide right past the bordering loops, or not, depending on how you have it set. So right now it's set to continue past the other edges, or the bordering edges that surround it. If I hit the number 3 key, now it can't go any further than the bordering edges. But with the number 3 key set to go past, now you can go past those edges as well. So, hope that helps you out a little bit there. I was certainly confused by it at first, but hopefully that helps you figure out what those 3 options are and how you can better use your edge slide. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.